Welcome to this PS3 Test Review Learning Set 3, and this is the second video. I created this video as a supplement because you notice tests have changed a little bit since the beginning of the year, so this is just a supplement to help you out a little bit more in a test. Some things you're going to want to make sure you're prepared for, and this is especially true because a lot of you struggle with this on your last test. If you have a question that says fully explain each of the forces used in your free body diagram, a lot of you only received partial credit. Now this is what I'm looking for as I correct these. One, are you talking about what's applying the force? Like gravity is applying a force to the ball. Did you tell me if that force was vertical or horizontal? And is it a contact force or does it act at a distance? And is it a push or a pull? So, for example, think of me holding a tennis ball in my hand and I'm holding it up. So gravity is pulling it down. So you might say gravity is applying a vertical pull force that acts at a distance. So again, you had what's applying it? Gravity. You told me that it was vertical. You told me that it was a force that acts at a distance and that it was pulling it. So this is what I'm looking for. So if you're missing any of those parts, you will only receive partial credit. Make sure you know the difference between acceleration and deceleration. A couple things here. Make sure you review the lesson reviews. Maybe not the lesson reviews, but we've taken the quizzes on those. So once we do those quizzes, and this time we had one for 6 and 7 was combined, and then you took one for 8. Make sure you review those. What did you get wrong? Why did you get it wrong? If you had to take it again, would you get it right? And you've noticed from the last couple of tests that a bunch of those questions have appeared on the test. And make sure you review the chapter review. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you've already watched the first video review. But go over the chapter review. It tells you what's on the test. Make sure you, I don't know how to say this delicately, but hopefully you've been paying attention because a lot of the questions, there's going to be a lot of general questions that come from the readings, that come from the activities. So I pull the questions from here, I'll pull a question from here, from this reading, from this activity. So there's a lot of questions from all over 6, 7, and 8. So hopefully if you've been paying attention, or maybe what you want to do is go through your notes that you've taken, go through the lessons and the activities and just read through them and make sure you understand what's going on. If you were absent, it's your responsibility to make up that work, to get it from your group. So I don't want you to be absent for 2, 3 days and now all of a sudden you missed several lessons and you have no idea what's on them. For example, know what causes objects to begin moving, to speed up, to stop, to slow down, to move at a constant speed, to remain motionless. Those were all covered in 7.1. To change directions was covered in a later lesson. But if you were gone when we did lesson 7.1 and you never made it up, you never took those notes, you're going to struggle on this part of the test. And it's a lengthy part of the test. So hopefully you've made everything up. Hopefully you reviewed this. Know about energy. You'll see in 8 that we're coming back around to energy because we talk about forces, but in order for forces to happen, you have to have energy because something has to create those forces. And when those forces are creating, for example, when gravity is pulling down on the ball that I told you I was holding earlier, well, then you start to have gravitational energy. And know about gravitational energy. The higher you move away from the Earth, the more gravitational energy you have. Same thing with like a steel shot or a ball bearing. If you move it further and further away from the magnet, you're getting more and more magnetic force. You might say it's the other way around because, wow, if you keep it really close to a magnet, it's going to attract it a lot, but that's not the way it works. The further away we are from the Earth, the less the less gravitational effect is on you, but you still get more gravitational energy. And think about this. If you drop a ball, like say a bowling ball, a foot from the ground, is it going to do a lot of damage? Probably not. But if you drop the bowling ball, say from 2 stories up, it's going to do a lot more damage because it had a lot more gravitational energy that got converted to KE. And one last thing I want to make sure you review, is make sure we did this in one of the lessons. I think it was 7.1 as well. And we went over an airplane. We talked about lift, thrust, drag, gravity. Make sure you can explain these. Make sure you know what they are. Make sure you could interpret a diagram that looks similar to this. Know that pulling up is going to be lift. That pulling down is going to be gravity or weight. And then drag is pulling back. It's that friction of the plane going through the air and the air moving around the plane. And then you have your thrust, which is pushing it forward. So this is just a supplemental review just to help you out, to give you a few more tips, pointers, and things to study for the test. Thank you.